We're starting the video for YouTube.
Hi guys, we apologize. Facebook didn't want to work with us. I don't know what to say today.
Stupid Facebook.
So if you're watching this, it's not live. My apologies.
Sorry, we tried.
We tried.
Really tried. I sat here for 5 minutes at least.
The old college try.
It is an old college try. All right, well, let's do this. Let's go live, or not live, but, ready to go for the actual podcast audio.
Ready?
Ready. In 3. Wait, did we give them the intro on what
we do the business bros at the beginning?
What do you do? I've seen it where you do the...
Yeah, business bros.
Yeah. Totally join us.
All right, let's do it.
All
right, go.
And then keep somebody in mind that you want to refer to us or,
tag at the
recommend for the podcast at the end.
Gotcha.
All right, that's it. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
Well, we're in the 200 episodes now.
We are in the 200s. Woohoo!
Woo!
We're in the end game now.
We're in the end game now.
It is officially Monday. We no longer have to withhold any information. The spoiler ban is over, and Spider-Man Homecoming.
No.
I
don't know which one it is, but it's not the Homecoming one. It's the one where he goes to Europe.
Yeah. Well, that one dropped, and lots of spoilers in there too. So it's definitely.
Did you watch Endgame yet?
No,
not yet.
Not a Marvel fan.
Man,
not
I don't
like
have time for all that.
It's
time.
Cool.
Hey, time's a big thing. Time is a big thing.
Speaking of which, we have only so much time left to collect those 365 pairs of shoes that we've been wanting to get. If you look behind, no, it's not quite on camera yet, but
I got a pair of shoes right behind me.
There's a couple shoes right back there. So we're collecting 365 pairs, trying to get them all for the homeless by the end of this year. Should be an easy goal.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
What else we got?
We got May 10th. We got the SDAR real estate convention. So come check me out. I'll be over there. We'll be in the Mike Russ booth.
That would be 4 days from now.
4 days from now. And
May 10th.
then on the 22nd, we have a financial planning event with Driven Wealth Management.
Yep.
And we'll be there too. So if you're out there being productive, making money, but failing to pay your taxes, failing to put money away for your future, wondering what the heck you're going to do, come join us. May 22nd. We'll be in the, what's the name of that area? I forgot.
Liberty Station.
Liberty Station. I always forget what it's called. Always off the top
We'll
of my head.
hanging out
Boom.
there.
So,
all right.
yeah, Hernan at csfirst.com. Send me an email for details. All right, who do we got in the podcast studio today?
Today we have Mr. Ben Biggs from Discher Group Real Estate.
Ben, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
All right, dude. We got to do a little bit of chatting right before the show, which was some good stuff. But what I ask all my guests every time they show up is, why real estate? Of all the things you could have done in the world, you decided to get into this industry.
Yes, sir.
What made you that crazy?
The thing is, man, okay, so get in line, right? I mean, how many real estate agents are out here? Everyone watches the TV shows and thinks this and that, and I'm going to go get my license. I'm going to get my license. I'm going to get a real estate license. And I haven't got an entrepreneurial background. I dropped out of college. I had a full ride to any college I could possibly want to go to, but my grandparents had college funds set up for everyone before the crash of 2008, or before the correction. That went away quick. But back then, I could have gone. I said, "Hey, I want to go to Harvard. Full ride done. No questions asked." I said, "Screw that. College ain't for me. I'm out. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to become a millionaire." And I dropped out of any possible family college connection, and went down to, at 19, moved down to Denver, Colorado, on my last $50, and rented the cheapest apartment I could find. And over about 2 years, started 4 companies. Or was involved in the startup of 4 companies, 2 on my own and 2 I was a founding member. And this is a long-winded kind of looping around story to or answer your question, but basically I did that for 2 years, massively failed, incredibly burnt out, fabulously so, and then I was at a stint in the Navy for 6 years.
Hold on. You fabulously failed at business. I want to talk about that because I'm in the same boat. The very first business we started was, what I told you a little bit, is called PC Cruisers, right? Mm-hmm. It fabulously failed. Well, every time I tell a story, everybody says I wasn't a failure. But in my eyes, I didn't make the millions that I set out to make, right? It was doing well, it was successful. But when I closed it, I learned a ton of education. I learned about wait, I pay employees more than salary, I pay them taxes. Wait, I have to file a return. I have a contract for a marketing agreement with, this Yellow Pages or my real estate contract. What? Like all these things that life said they're a part of the game. I had no clue.
Yep.
So what did you learn in failure? Because that's a big part of your life.
It's massive. And gosh, man, I mean, where would I even start? But the thing is that that 2-year period in Denver really set the stage for the rest of my life. And because I chose to not go down the typical college path, I learned that success is way harder than you initially think. And, you got to be good at a lot of stuff. Time management, you got to honor your commitments. You got to work a lot harder than you originally intended. And you just got to there's a maturity and the experience level that comes with being, a reputable person and doing good things in the world. And that for me anyway I just wasn't there at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was too young. I had good intentions, but it was nuts, man. I was like 20,000 overdrawn, not even in debt, just overdrawn accounts, like totaled my car. Like I got, I was completely burnt out. I was involved in like all these networking events and everything. And I got, one of my products or my companies was a social media startup for businesses. And I was going to a networking group to pitch my product. And it was the third time in a row where I overslept to go because I was so burnt out. I was just missing meetings left and right. I was a mess, and I overslept this meeting, and I was late. I was running late, and I called the guy. It was the third time they had booked me, and I called him. I said, "Hey, I'm on my way," and the guy said, "Literally, this is what put the nail in the coffin in Denver." He was like, in the conference room with everyone on speakerphone. There was like 20 people in the room. He was like, "Ben, your services will not be needed here. Thank you." And hung up on me in front of everyone.
Damn.
Yeah, and.
I mean, but that's one of those things where, like, it wasn't the first time. It wasn't the second time.
No. They gave me a good shot.
Yeah. And you kind of blew it yourself. I don't know if you're willing to share this, but, like, there's people who are just getting into this industry or in any business, right? And one of the main reasons they get into it is because I don't want anybody to tell me what to do, right? I want to make my own schedule. I want to do my own thing, and I'm going to be my own boss, and I'm going to make my millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But when you have that freedom, like, sometimes it gets carried away. Sometimes, especially when you're young and you see any form of success, all of a sudden you know it all. Yeah. Right? I mean, that was my experience. Tell me, can you dig a little deeper on that?
1,000%. I totally agree with it. I mean, here's the thing. Everyone wants to have their freedom and have the lifestyle and go get a real estate license and then just be on HGTV. The thing is that if you want to be a boss and if you want to have a great company, if you want to have a respectable name in a marketplace and you want to have that lifestyle, you got to set a crazy ass schedule. You got to you'll work way harder. I'm in the office at like 4 a.m. I mean, you got to set a nuts schedule if you want to actually be successful, especially in a startup and a business. So it's like, you got to be honest with yourself about the kind of work ethic that you have or you're willing to put out. And, I just wasn't there. And yeah, it's like everyone sees that pipe dream, but you got to be your best employee if you're going to have a company.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, along with that is the accountability. You were saying, Nan, you were saying that when you are your own boss, you want to have your own schedule, but there's nobody keeping you accountable.
Yeah.
And that you definitely felt that.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad you brought that up because everyone, when not everyone, but when a lot of people fall into this trap when they start a business, they think, oh, I'm a business owner. I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, we did too with PC Cruisers.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I remember sitting with our insurance agent. She's like, so what do you guys do? We're like, going to be millionaires by the time we're 25. We're going to be 30. We're not even going to be working anymore by 30. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, no, me too. If you had asked me in my mid-20s, early 20s, what I was going to be, where I was going to be at when I was 30, I said, man, I'm going to be worth $500 million. I'm going to have a skyscraper.
Yeah,
there you go.
That was the pill I was on back then.
That's funny because I remember telling him, I was like, dude, one of those buildings is gonna have PC Cruiser's name on it. Yeah. And it's not that it can't happen. It's just I wasn't willing to do the work. I wasn't willing to continue to do the work that was necessary. Because I remember starting off We did. We literally would wake up every morning, go door to door, and pass out door hangers, and put, each one of our door hangers had a sticker, and you take the sticker off, put it on your computer, and call us when you're ready, right? When something goes wrong. And we pass out door hangers every day up until the point where we had a little bit of success. And then we try to find the easy button. Oh, we're just going to put it in the penny saver. And we're just going to do the yellow pages. And we're just going to commit to this and commit to that. And before you knew it, over your head and plateaued.
You hit the nail on the head right there, man. Yeah. And that's the spot. And in real estate, it's really easy to do that because you can get, you can if you really hustle, I mean, you can make a decent amount of money pretty quickly. The only problem is that unless you maintain that, it goes away very quickly. So it's like, that's where I'm at in my business. I've had a good last couple of years, and especially as a new agent starting out, I've hit some numbers that I'm happy with, but I'm obviously going for a lot more. But that's my problem is I'd plateau. I'd get my 5-6 escrows and be like, oh my god, finally I can let the pressure's off. You know what I mean? And then I'd be like, I'd chill for a little bit, and I'm like, wait a second, and they'd start closing.
Yeah.
And then it's like ramp up phase again, and it's like now 2019, I've decided to no longer do that. I'm never falling off. I'm not saying I'm never. I'm going to fall off again at some point. But I've just decided to just stay the course. And every time I get up to my 5, just act like I don't have any, and just put them in and serve the client and restart. And like that's kind of where I'm at right now, pushing that momentum button and not taking the easy road.
Well, that's the difficulty with pretty much any commission sales job, but more so in real estate is real estate agents suffer from cash spurts and they don't have cash flow. Yeah. Right. And that's one of those accountability factors. When we were doing some of our sales training podcasts, we would talk about having specific whiteboards for different areas. Like you have a whiteboard that has active listings. You have a whiteboard that has pendings. You have a whiteboard that has your leads. You have a whiteboard that has your closes. You'll have all these different boards, and you can literally number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the number is at. And you can look up at your whiteboard and be like, okay, where am I at? Oh, look, I'm missing leads. I need to get more active leads and go out and actually do your prospecting. Or look up and say, oh, check it out. My pendings, I'm about to close 3 deals. I need to get more of my active listings into the pendings board and kind of monitor what you're doing on a regular basis. Because if you don't have anything visually to look at where you are, you become complacent.
1,000%.
Right?
Scoreboard. You gotta have a visual scoreboard.
You have to have a visual scoreboard. So what is your schedule like? What are you doing now that's different from your youth?
Man, I'm just on a whole nother level now. I've always, since my late 20s, I've always been in self-development and business, and I've always had that interest. I've been on the 5 a.m. club pill for 12 years now, and recently I'm obsessed now on a level that I haven't been in my business. So I'm a firm believer that, and you'll see this everywhere. Any sort of person who's successful online is ranting and raving about this all the time. The schedule, your routine is absolutely number one, most critical. And because if I'm off on my routine, my whole day's off. I'll get a third done, if that, of what I want to get done if I'm not on my routine. I mean, it's worth millions of dollars, your routine. So, it's like I'm typically, and this is going to sound a little nuts, but I'm typically up between 2:30 and 3, and I'll be up at 2:33. This is my schedule I'm trying to stick to. I'll get up 2:33. I'm typically at the office around 4. I'll get some reading done, some coffee, and then I'll basically set because I made a decision to not fall off and conquer forward. So I'll be at the office early, set my day up, set my tasks up where I'll dole my TC out with tasks and send out any email, like kind of take care of my business and work on it, and then, or work in it actually, and piece all the emails and stuff that get away. And then, circle back on my CRM, make sure that's all good. And then I'll go back around 6 or 7. I'll go get a workout in, shower up, take maybe a 20-minute nap, and then pop back to the office by about 8:30 when my team is arriving and all the agents are getting there. And then I'm more free to train them and listen, do stuff with them versus worrying about all my avids and requests for pairs and stuff in my email.
That is pretty much beast mode right there. Then you do this every day?
No, absolutely not every day. I'm in the middle of implementing this. I do it most days, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you I do that every single. I mean, I burn out, but that's the intent. That's the schedule that I'm on right now.
That's funny you talk about burnout because we've had a conversation in the past. We were pondering like what kind of burnout rate do I have? Like, I don't think most people really understand what a burnout rate is. And when they do figure it out, that's at the very end when they're done, right? They don't want to be in the business anymore because they've literally burnt out. So, James was doing an exercise not too long ago on, I'm going to work my schedule every single day, and I'm going to just work every day. And I'm going to see how many days I can go forward before my body tells me I'm done. Where'd you end up at?
A little over 3 weeks.
A little over 3 weeks.
A little over 3 weeks of every single day, like you're talking about doing. I mean, it wasn't 2:30 for me; it was 5:30. But yeah, it was just every day of 5:30 up, doing the whole morning routine, working through till 7, 8 at night, and getting up and doing it over the next day. And it was a little over 3 weeks. It was 23 days, and then my body was like, "Dude, stop."
1,000%. Yeah, that's actually correct. That's actually in line with my own rate. And, And what I'll do is I'll literally I don't do the 2:30 thing every day. That's what I'm trying to get to. But I'm never really up later than like 4:30 or 5. So that's my typical days. Like 5 o'clock club is kind of wired in me. I can't really sleep past that. But my thing about burnout is I've been burnt out. I've gone so hard over the last 2.5 years. I'm very familiar with burnout, and I was in the Navy. I was on forward deployed over in 7th Fleet. You go 4 days without sleep over there. You heard about all the wrecks and stuff that happened. It's because I know exactly what happened. They're all crazy, manic, depressed, sleep deprived. It's nuts. You live off coffee and Monster for days without sleep.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah, well, that's kind of part of the reason why I was like, yeah, I can do 3 weeks. I can keep going. It's because of that Navy training where you're like, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
it's not training. It's just like forcing like slavery.
I mean, we did get paid, but but yeah, I mean, we really didn't have a choice. That's what you're gonna do, and you're not gonna argue, and you're gonna get up and you're gonna work 20 hours a day. You're gonna sleep an hour, and you're gonna get up and do it again.
Oh yeah, typical.
That is tough. See, I mean, I never went
for
through
years.
Yeah, for years on end. Yeah.
But I think that kind of training for you guys, I mean, that sets a precedent. There's so many people that we've talked to who have a military background, where that sort of work ethic is built into you. Like, you're just gonna do the work. Like, there's something to be said when somebody tells you what to do. When I talk to somebody and they reminisce about the good old days, right? It's usually when they have that regimented schedule. When I talk to military guys, it was usually, when they were in the Navy, it was their good old days. Yeah, they go through the shit, but it's also their good old days. It's the day they were productive. It's the day that they had a schedule. It's when they had a purpose, when things were going on. People who weren't in the military, it was high school or college. It's when you had something that you knew you were going to do regularly on a daily basis and you were doing it. And then it's not the good old days because that goes away. Yep. You know what I mean? And so absolutely. I think having that schedule is super vital. When did you figure it out? Like, you were in your 20s, you were, partying it up, making top dog business, millionaire ventures. Yeah. And then you decided Navy and then real estate? Like, where'd you figure it out
after my stint in the business world in Denver, I totaled my car and I was completely out of options. My family was over it. They cut me off. I received no financial support from my family. I was working 2 jobs and I just had to do something else. I honestly looking back, if I really wanted to, if I really had some real grit, I could have stuck it through. But I decided to call it. And I'd always been into meditation and Buddhism and read books about spirituality. And my mom was encouraging me to go to this place. There's a meditation retreat center about an hour and a half north of Denver, way up in the Rockies, called Shambhala Mountain Center. And I know that you can go there. It's a huge facility, 600 acres. They have the largest Buddhist stupa in the West. It's 108 foot tall. So I was like, I knew they were looking for IT positions. So I was like, okay, I did the millionaire thing for a couple of years. Didn't work for now. Let me go get my head straight and to do this meditation thing. And I actually went up there and volunteered up there. I lived on the property for like 14 months. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Took all the courses, did a bunch of retreats, became a Buddhist, did that whole thing, and kind of got a little more centered, and then realized very quickly that I saw myself as just becoming like a full-time hippie, which there's nothing wrong with that per se, but I saw myself just drifting from meditation center to meditation center.
So you lived at this place, like, I'm assuming you did the work, you lived there. It's kind of like a full exchange.
Yeah, it's not a commune. It's not quite a commune. It's a retreat center You guys would probably like it. It's cool. It's a venue. They have big. I mean, Sting will go there sometimes. He flew in on his helicopter once. A Dalai Lama goes there. They'll have it's a venue for wisdom traditions and politicians. It's way up in the Rocky Mountains. It's gorgeous, but it's a well-run facility, and it's just a venue. But it's run by a Buddhist organization, and I volunteered there for 14 months. I lived on the property. Lived in a tent part of the time. Lived in a lodge. Lived in a little camper, a little hippie camper. So.
That's amazing, though. I mean, think about what value you got out of it by volunteering your services.
Tremendous.
I mean, it's huge. It's what I hear over and over again by real estate agents. Just go and intern with somebody. Get under somebody who knows what they're doing so that you can learn from them and better yourself.
Massive. The ability to... Yeah, I mean, just the ability to be humble, to tuck your tail in a positive way. A lot of guys think, like, tuck my tail, what do you mean? No, bitch. You know, like, a lot of guys, like, they think it's a beta thing.
Too machismo.
And they think it's a bad thing or a beta thing. And it's like, no, dude, you don't have all the answers. You know, like, I've always had mentors, and I'm a huge believer in just, if you want to learn, you know, baseball, I mean, you're going to go hang out with Derek Jeter. People are like, oh, you're just following Derek Jeter. You just want to be like Derek. I'm like,
yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like, you know, be humble, man. And just, I mean, my thing is I'm a follower. I'll tell anyone right now, I'm the best follower you've ever seen. I'll follow. If I can find the right leader, I'll follow, you know, to the battlefield, to the grave, whatever. But it's at the same token, you know, I think it's going to help me with my leadership skills down the line. Because I don't have any ego about that. If I know, because I'm intelligent enough to see that, I hope I am, to see the right path, you know?
Well, you know, essentially we're all followers.
Yeah.
We're all following somebody. There's always somebody that we look up to. Maybe, you know, the person we look up to is at the top of their game, but they're following somebody in another aspect of life. Yep. Maybe you're looking at them as, I want to make as much money as that person, but you don't know that person's following somebody else in a spiritual sense, right? Or in a family sense, or they look up to somebody. There's always somebody that they're following, because we're not all good at everything. We always have to look up to somebody who's better than us at whatever aspect of life. And that, dude, that's huge. The fact that you were able to do that, and that you bring it with you what you're doing now. Because even if you're following somebody, even if you're the number 2, there are plenty of people below that that need to look up to you.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm in a very lucky, I'm in an extremely fortunate spot. And I'm very thankful to be where I'm at with my team, the Discher Group, because I basically, you know, I got into real estate. So I guess, do you want to just continue down that path about like how I ended up getting here, I guess? Or, Because it's kind of a long, weird, winding story. But basically, you know, after the meditation center, I said, I'm going to just drift and become a hippie. I got to get into something where I can make some money, because college wasn't an option at that point. And I said, I want to finish something tangible in my 20s. So Navy it was, joined the Navy, did my 6 years. And the whole time I was in the Navy, I didn't really like it. But I did it, and I got my honorable, and that's the whole thing. I just wanted to finish something.
Yes.
And the whole time I was just stewing. You know, like, what am I going to do when I get out? Like, reading all these books, listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, and I landed on commercial real estate investment, Bigger Pockets. You guys
heard of Bigger Pockets? Yeah.
So Bigger Pockets, I was junked out on them, listened to all their podcasts, and got deep in the forums with them, and said, I'm going to go to San Diego, and I'm going to be a real estate syndicator, and I'm going to own 100,000 apartment units.
How'd that work out?
And clearly, I'm a magnate. No, but you know, and that's my thing when I first came on the podcast, is I don't do anything. Like, I have that kind of brain. I am hyper focused on what, like, if I get into something, I just go. I don't care. I just go. And I was like, I'm going to own 100,000. I don't know how I came up with that number, but that's just what I wanted to do. And I bought my first duplex here in San Diego. A year out, I bought a duplex, and I got a referral from a very smart guy on my ship who's a programmer who owns a bunch of businesses, who owns real estate. And I said, hey, who's your broker? He referred me to Jeff Discher, who's my broker now that I work with. And Jeff helped me buy my duplex. And I saw how Jeff worked, and Jeff's a mentor of mine. And I was like, okay, this dude's on. Like, Jeff, I don't know if you've ever had the chance to meet Jeff, but Jeff Discher's nuts. I mean, the dude's a maniac. He's one of the most on fire, energetic. He's one of the best leaders I've ever had the opportunity to work with. He's very good. And And I said, I got out and I took him to breakfast and lunch, and I was constantly taking him for coffees, and I was picking his brain, and I told him my idea about the commercial thing, and he was like, he basically was just like, good luck. And and of course, I mean, like, if now looking back on it, it's like I meet myself, that version of me all the time, and I try to talk him off the ledge of like, hey man, just start where you are, not to discourage anyone, because you can do whatever you want,
but get there progressively. Get
you got to do something.
That's right.
You don't just like and I start off with a couple properties and go from there and scale it. But where was I going with that?
Oh, you were talking about how you got into real estate with the Discher Group.
Yeah. So so I did the Navy, and then got my duplex from Jeff, and then wined and dined Jeff and was like, hey man, I want to work with you. And I went up to his office. We've got a really nice office downtown. Saw the office, met Jeff, and I was like, this is it. That's what I'm doing. I kamikaze myself. I was like, no, bro, I'm working here. Like, I just started showing it. He was like, all right, shit.
Okay.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the kind of person you want, though. I mean, right? You went balls to the wall after that. So you went and got your license?
Yeah, I got my license. I knew I was going to need to get my license pretty much right away. So I started working on it as soon as I got off the ship in May 2016. And got it in September. And started working full time. I started training on it with Jeff full time in August, and then got my license and started doing the real estate thing in September.
Dang, you've been after it ever since.
Just nuts, all in, all day, every day, just relentless.
Dude, but that's one hell of a ride, though. You know what I mean? Like, well, you know what I forgot to ask you is, what was the hippie stage like?
It was awesome. I mean, the hippie stage was like a massive breakthrough for me in terms of, because I was kind of a nerdy kid growing up, and I'll tell this to anyone. I have no shadows really. I mean, I'll tell you anything. But I got made fun of when I was a kid bad. I was overweight. I had a bowl cut. I was a video game nerd. I didn't have a ton of friends. Didn't really have any girlfriends anywhere to speak of. My high school had like 20 people in the whole class, and like all the other guys in my class were all jocks in football, macho, country nerd, country cat yeehaws, and then me. So it's like any cute girl in my high school was just instantly, like I had no chance.
Yeah, you're going over there.
Yeah,
go to the jocks.
Yeah, and it's like I had a pretty rough childhood. Parents divorced, not rough compared to some, but I mean my parents divorced when I was 7. I moved back and forth, and my dad never really had a great situation. I mean, we slept in cab over camper parkers on friends' couches and stuff. My mom did okay, but never really she was just barely getting by. So I mean, I have a lot of insecurities. Have a lot of insecurities still, but I had a lot of insecurities to overcome just about socializing and being myself. That I worked through in the meditation stuff.
That's deep right there, because we have a lot of people who are either first generation even in this country or come from a lifestyle like, dude, my parents, I mean, they didn't get divorced, but we went through our money issues where like there was a period in our life where we didn't have a home. Mm-hmm. Like we were at cousins' houses, and my parents were trying to get their life back together and work and find a place to live. Like we've had that situation in our lives before. And I always knew, though, no matter what I was going to do better than my parents did, because they gave me the opportunity. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at you, and there's no way, just by the way you present yourself and what you've done and what I've seen online, that anywhere of your past is breaking through to where you are today. And it's just it's a completely different you. Yeah. Just, wanted to let you know.
Yeah, thank you. And that's the thing, is I actually talk about this with my team a lot, and people ask me like, Ben, oh man, if I could just be as good at video as Ben, if I could just be as good as Ben, because now people see me, and not to say I'm like, I still view myself as that nerdy. I have a lot of insecurities. I mean, I'm only 5'7". Come on.
I feel you.
Right? I saw, yeah. So, but people are like, man, like now they see my sales numbers, and they see all my live videos that I do. Like, man, if I was only as good at this video as Ben is. And people got to understand, man, like I preach this to my team all the time. You didn't see me when I first got started with Jeff Discher helping me out, changing my diapers. Like I was a mess. And it's taking me just relentless 12, 13 years now of just constant reading, constant seeking mentors. Like it's taken a lot. And I feel like it's only really calcified over this last like year and a half, 2 years.
But to everybody else, it's instant.
Yeah.
Like overnight, where did you come from?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Nobody ever sees that. The nights where you're just listening to audiobooks, where you're doing work but you're learning in your own head, where you're practicing your scripts and you don't exactly know what to say, or when the boardroom tells you don't even bother coming in, dude, we're done with you.
Exactly.
Like those types of things are the things that make you who you are today. Mm-hmm. But people want to take that instant HGTV leap.
Yep.
And then they wonder what happens. Yep.
And that's things that people. Yeah, I mean, they get it mixed up, and you guys can agree because you guys have both been in the trenches, But this is in the trenches right here. This is hard. Podcast life is tough, So I mean, it's like you guys know, as well as anyone. But it's yeah, man. It's just like there's no like no one, anyone you see you think has made it. They've gone through tremendous. I mean, unless they were just trust fund or something like that. I'm not knocking that, but it's like you're.
It's just rare.
Yeah,
super rare.
There's no quick fix. It's gonna suck.
So, I like that. It's gonna suck.
It's
gonna suck.
Embrace the suck.
Yeah, but I work with 17-year-old kids all the time. We got less than like 3 weeks away before graduation with these 17-year-old kids that I'm talking to, and now is where the magic happens. Like I've been spending the whole senior year. We've talked about everything: how to buy a car, mortgages, how to rent a home, going over like a rental contract, tax returns, all these cool things that are important. Yeah. But they don't care about them yet. These last 3 weeks, reality's starting to set in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they're about to hit the real world, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to preach to them right now. Is it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck, but you're gonna do it every day because you have your goal in front of you, and you're gonna progressively work towards that goal. And if you just push through that daily grind, it's called a grind because it's not smooth. Yeah. It's a suffering state of mind. You're constantly working, but if you're working towards something that you want, and you're working every day to get there, and you know that it's just piece by piece, it's like digging a hole, just one spoonful of dirt every time, one shovel of dirt every time. You're going to get there. You're going to get there.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry. You're tapping? Oh, okay. That's what he's telling me. All right. Dude, amazing story. Thanks for being like super vulnerable. Because, I mean, that's the type of stuff people need to hear, right? That's the type. We could have sat here and said, Ben, you're crushing out there. You're doing great numbers. Your videos are great. But if nobody knows that background, like they don't know where you came from, they're going to think that that's the starting point.
Right. Yeah, just start doing videos and just go get your license and you'll be good.
Just go do it.
Yeah.
Just go do it.
Which, it was just true, but you're going to have to go through the stuff.
You have to. Mm-hmm. Find a mentor. By the way, Ben, you willing to be a mentor, anybody?
Absolutely.
See? There's people out there.
Open door, guys, anytime.
All right. So take a look at the camera. Let them know. You're in this camera, by the way. Boom. You. And let people know how to get a hold of you.
619-987-8294, ben@dishergroup.com. Find me on Facebook. I can't remember what my tag is off top on Facebook. You'll see me, Discher Group Real Estate, or Instagram @bigs.ben.
Perfect. And then lastly, who are you going to tag to be on the show next?
Great question. I was going to give a token answer.
How about this? Think about it for a second. I got to give one plug.
Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. Quick reminder, if you are interested in donating, give James a call or a text message or an email. You can reach him at 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. He'll head over on his Harley, pick up the shoes. We're stacking them up. We got bags. We got boxes. We're putting them on the shelves. We're putting them in the garage. Don't care where we get them from. We're looking for closed-toe shoes, gently used or new. Either way, those will work. And by the way, we always talk about different opportunities. Remember, I'm an EXP agent. If you are EXP curious, text 123EXP to 31996. I'll send you a video. You can check it out. Answer the questions. Answer your questions so you make an informed decision before you just shut off the opportunity. All right, Ben, back to you. Who is going to be on the show next?
Gosh, man, I only hang out. The only people I really talk to is my clients and my team. I'm going to nominate the token answer, Jeff Discher.
Perfect. That's a good answer.
Jeff Discher Broker. If you haven't, just because, that's not fair. That's not the token answer. Jeff Jeff is phenomenal. You talk to Jeff for more than 10 seconds, you realize you're talking to the dude's like on another cloud. So
Dude, there's some amazing, and not everybody has a story, but some people can just project that story really well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know what you mean. So, Jeff
Discher.
Jeff, we're on you, dude. So we're gonna tag him on the show, and then we'll get a hold of him. And lastly, did I forget anything?
No, that's it.
May 10th, the SDAR Expo, Real Estate Expo, and May 22nd, Financial Planning. Make sure you guys check it out. Let me know if you have any details. You can find it on our Facebook page at Business Bros Pod, or Twitter, or Instagram. And that's about it. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Laters.
And I'm out. Quick 30 minutes.